Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Suburban Rifleman. It has been a couple of weeks, I know. I've been really busy with a bunch of different things going on. Holidays are coming up on us. It's early, I think it's the third day of December, and it's unusually warm out here, but it's also kind of damp and dreary. But I haven't been able to get to the range for a couple of weeks, and I bought myself an early Christmas present. I wanted a new traditional double action pistol. I wanted it to be full size. I wanted it to be 9mm. I wanted it to have a steel frame, and I wanted it to be aesthetically compatible with my Beretta M9. And I looked at a bunch of different options, and what I came up with was the CZ-75. This is the most traditional version of the CZ-75. I've owned a number of CZ firearms over the years, pistols and rifles, and I've owned a number of CZ-75 clones, but I've never owned an actual CZ-75. So I wanted to get the most traditional one. This is the bone standard CZ-75B. Of course, it does have a firing pin safety in it, hence the B designation. But other than that, it's very, very similar to the earliest versions of the CZ-75. It has the scallops on the frame here. It's got the high power cut on the front of the slide. Just plain plastic grips. Overall, my initial impressions of it have been very, very good. But I just haven't had a chance to get out and shoot it. I've been sitting on this pistol for a couple of weeks now. And despite the rather dreary weather and the fact that I don't really have time to make a super in-depth video, I wanted to get out here and shoot it, and I figured I may as well film it as long as I was at it. As I said, overall, very favorably impressed with the pistol so far. One criticism of these is the finish. Now, I don't know if you remember the early CZ-75s that you may have seen back in the 1980s and 1990s. They had this really kind of cheap enamel finish on it that would flake off terribly. And of course, they were Parkerized underneath, but the pistols ended up getting very beat up looking very quickly. Now, they're using a much more modern finish on here today. It's still sort of a paint-based. It's very similar to Cerakote, but it's not quite as tough as Cerakote. And one thing that I found rather disconcerting, seeing as how this pistol's only been in its case or lying on a wooden surface or maybe being handed to a friend to take a look at, I already have a spot on one of the upper corners of the slide here where the paint's worn off. So that doesn't really speak very well to the long-term durability of this paint. I don't know, it might have been something as simple as my watch bracelet getting against it or something and scraping it off. Not a huge deal, because this wasn't bought as a collector's piece. It wasn't bought as a safe queen. I intend to shoot this pistol a lot, and it's going to get beat up going forward, but it's kind of a bummer that I have a little bit of finish missing already, and I haven't even dropped the hammer once. So, to help me get over that, let's go ahead and shoot this thing and break it in properly. I'm just going to move the camera around in the back here. It's a little too damp to go hanging paper targets out there, so I'm just going to shoot at the steel tree over here, and hopefully the sights are on enough at 7 yards that I'll be able to hit those with some regularity. We'll see, but I just can't wait to shoot this thing anymore, so let's do it. I have a couple of different types of ammunition here. I brought some Federal Champion 115 grain aluminum case, really basic range ammo. And then I have a box here that's sort of a mixed bag. I've got some Cellular and Below, I think that's 115 grain. Some Remington, I think this is just regular Remington green box, probably also 115 grain. And then I have a little bit of surplus NATO ammo here. This is a little bit hotter, and I think it's 124 grains. This stuff has very hard primers, so I'm interested to see whether or not the CZ-75 will light those off. But we'll start off with the Federal aluminum cased range ammo here. And these are full metal jackets, obviously, range ammo. so I don't anticipate any feeding issues. Although I've never had problems with CZ-75 type pistols feeding hollow point ammo. All right, let's give her a try and see how she does. Shoot a little bit low. I was aiming a bit too high. All right, not too bad. Let's try some of this NATO ammo. Pretty sure my M9 can handle these hard primers. Just going to start off with 5 rounds and test them with the M9. That'll give me a frame of reference. We can see if the CZ-75 has the same kind of hammer strength. That stuff is nasty. I'm not going to shoot any more of that. Let's save that stuff for a rainy day. We'll try some of the cellular and below. Some Czech ammo in a Czech pistol. Mags drop free. Try some Remington. Green box. I think that's only 14 rounds. I'm not shooting any more of that NATO stuff. So far, so good. Very, very pleased. Yeah, I guess we may as well use up the rest of this federal aluminum stuff. We'll put 10 rounds through the M9 and 10 rounds through the CZ. All right, 10 rounds through the Beretta M9. All right, what am I doing wrong here? And 10 rounds through the CZ-75. So all in all, I was very pleased with that initial shooting experience. I know this isn't really a very informative video for you, but it was a little bit informative for me. The M9 has traditionally, from Beretta, has traditionally been one of the most pleasant pistols to shoot because of its large size and relatively heavy mass. I would say shooting them side by side, I actually found the CZ-75 to be a little bit easier to shoot. Not that the M9 is difficult. Again, it's very soft shooting, but this thing is really soft shooting. So, of course, we'll film other videos with both of these pistols. Hopefully next time I won't be shivering. It is a little bit chillier than I anticipated. I probably should have worn something a little heavier, but anyway, I couldn't wait any longer to get out to the range with the pistol, and it's been a while since I posted a video, so I'm going to try to get back on track, posting videos on a more regular basis, and when I do that, I hope to see each of you here then. Later, guys.